Ah, it's a beautiful day in a neighborhood, a beautiful day to be a neighbor. Would you be mine? Welcome to News in Motion today. And today is Monday, June 5th, 2023. The birds are out there chirping. The sun is rising. I hear a few coffee machines brewing away, whether they be far or near. But as you are tuning in, whether it's live here at 7:25 a.m. or if you're catching the replay, whether it's in the afternoon, the evening, or near the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching on all platforms, the YouTube, the Book of Face platform, for all of our LinkedIn viewers as well, our audio and podcast listeners. Thank you for turning those dials to Hot 97 News in Motion. Today we have a show for you. We have Kenny Stanley on with Game Over as we discuss the NBA Finals, y'all. I feel like they did, they were showing some, they were showing some signs of resilience last night. So I don't know. I still got the heat. I still got the heat going on to win the whole thing. And of course, we got Miss Gail with all of her headlines and news reports. So as y'all are coming into the room, grab a friend, grab a Danish, grab your coffee, and let's get ready for some news in motion.
Good morning. It is time for your news in motion, as Isaiah's already put out there. Y'all, today is Monday. It is Monday, June the 5th, 2023. I am your host, Gail Dudley. If you are tuning in live, whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or any of the audio or podcast, I just want to say good morning to you and thank you so much for allowing me to spend a part of your morning with you. If you are catching the replay, I want to say thank you to you as well, because you're wanting to see what was happening right here on News in Motion. I am truly, truly grateful. If you did not catch the interview that I had with Ohio State Representative Lauren McNally, you can now hear that on the podcast, just that portion alone. We received a ton of emails and inbox messages about that. Now, I'm not going to just send out the information, but I now have in my possession the actual bills. There's three different ones. There's three different documents, the same bill, 3 to 5 pages. So if you're wanting that, you need to email us and request that, and we will send that out to you. That did spark a lot of conversation, and that's the type of news we're going to continue to bring to you. And hopefully we'll learn about some of this sooner than later. The other thing I want to get to before I go into some of the headline news and bring in Kenny Stanley with Game Over, volunteers are still needed. If you had already signed up to receive the voter, to be a volunteer for the voter registration and participation piece that kicked off this month, if you're still interested, let us know. We sent out, I think it was a little under 100 emails. A couple of them bounced back, but we were able to fix those. And then I want to encourage you to check your spam. We did hear from people because it's too large attachments to that email. We did hear from some people that it had fallen into their spam. So be sure to check your spam. It's not too late if you want to be a volunteer. Beginning today, News in Motion we have joined other organizations and registering people to vote. What we're doing is giving you a workbook as to identify your target audience, focus groups, articles, issues, so much. I spent a lot of time putting together that piece. So that's one, I think that is maybe 14 to 16 pages of a workbook. I sent that along with the nonpartisan voter resource guide that we kicked off last September. So you have two documents. We're We're going to do a webinar soon. I may do the Wednesday workshop on this coming Wednesday. But if you have other people that you want to join you in registering people to vote, please do. We're not giving you a set number. Our overall number for News in Motion is 5,000 new registered voters per month. And we'll take this all the way to September 2024. So wanted to make sure you have that to alert you to check that your email for that. Some of you are wondering what is happening to the newsletter. We have not sent them out in 2 Mondays. Honestly, I pulled back a little bit on it because I want to make sure you're getting the content and we're sending the content that is appealing to you all, our viewers, our listeners, our readership. So we're slow walking it a little bit. It's coming back. It hasn't disappeared. We just want to earmark it for what it is that we believe people are needing. But get this, I went to a graduation party on yesterday. I was sitting next to a woman that I don't even know. And she said, "Hey, you're that news lady. I've signed up for your emails. You helped me get my mom in a skilled facility. All the information you gave me was correct. I need a little bit more information. I haven't received an email in 2 weeks. Will you be sending out one on Monday?" I said, "Well, yes, I'm Gail. No, I will not. Thank you for sharing the information. Stay tuned. I'll give you more." And then I also asked her, I said, "Would you mind writing a little testimonial about that?" She says, "Seriously." She goes, my siblings will tell you, because of your information, we were able to get my mom. And they're in Cincinnati, but she was here for the graduation. It's amazing how those things happen. So with that, couple more things before I turn it over to Kenny Stanley. President Joe Biden signed the bill into law. It is good through January 2025. This bill is suspending debt ceiling for 2 years. He did this on this past Saturday, 2 days ahead of that X date, which they determined would have been today, Monday, June the 5th deadline, to avoid default on the government debt. Talking about voter registration. This is important, y'all. This is important because I reread this bill several times. Y'all, student loans. As you know, Republicans have been fighting tooth and nail to really pull back the Biden administration's efforts to provide student loan relief and aid to millions of borrowers during the coronavirus pandemic. Now that they say the pandemic is over, Republicans are saying there's no need for this student loan debt relief. Well, yeah, there still is a need. Now, the GOP proposal is to rescind the White House plan to waive $10,000 to $20,000 in debt for nearly all borrowers. That failed to make this package. So they pulled this off the table, but what they inserted into the package on page 60 of the 99-page document is that they have tied the hands of the Secretary of Education. They've also tied the hands, this is the GOP, they have successfully tied the hands of the President of the United States, saying that this cannot happen. Now, understand the student loan debt relief still sits in the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court could say, yes, y'all can go ahead and move forward with it. If they say no, it's dead. It's done. It's over. Also, you have Krista Sinema and Joe Manchin, and there was one other in the Senate. When the Senate tried to move the student loan debt relief through this on the Senate side, the three of them made it dead on arrival on that end from the Senate. So I want to say this about that. If you are a student, especially in an HBCU or a graduate of HBCU, and you have student loans and you are not registered to vote, I need you to register to vote today. Just go to www.vote.us, register to vote today. And then not only register to vote, make sure you participate in this upcoming election, all elections actually. But your voices need to be heard. So, and the reason I'm bringing this up, if the millions of dollars of PPP loans were forgiven for millionaires and billionaires, why can't they pass this 10 to 20,000 per student to get their some sort of relief for for their education, these student loans. So this is where we want to start this week, looking at the amount of money that have been spent. Let's talk about Ukraine. Let's go there. Let's talk about all the moratoriums that were put out there. Let's talk about healthcare, although there's a lot to be done with healthcare. Let's talk about where they're spending money, and you cannot pay attention to those who are needing some sort of relief. There's been many articles, many interviews out there where people are saying, you know, I've used that money to pay my house note. I've used that money to pay rent. I've used that money to do X, Y, Z. Well, this as it is right now, the repayments will end. The pause of repayments will end the last day of August, with September money being due and interest on that money. So that's one thing we cannot forget there. And one more thing I want to say about this, and I was going to be careful, but I'm not going to be careful today. This really affects a lot of Black and brown people, professionals, those who are looking for jobs, those who have started families, those who are doing their due diligence. This is who this is really going to hit. Yes, there are other people that are part of this as well, people who are in marginalized communities, but they wanted to have an education. They got that education. We're talking $10,000 to $20,000 debt relief per student loan, where again, you had Tom Brady, that PPP money he received. And y'all saw after he received it, he bought a yacht. Now he's saying the PPP money did not go to a yacht, but it just looked real funky, real funny. You have Betsy DeVos who received PPP money. Betsy DeVos doesn't need any money, but she received PPP money, and then it was forgiven there as well. So a lot of people received money, and it was forgiven to them. I'm talking millions of dollars in PPP loans, and we're talking $10,000 to $20,000 here. All right, I see y'all all coming in here, and I did not give y'all shout outs. So let me back up and do that before I bring Kenny in here real quick. Let me go all the way back up here. I see Deborah Johnson, Deborah Sneed, Fred Jones. And Fred Jones, I think I'm going with the Heat. I saw them play. Kenny Stanley's coming in here in a moment. Jeffrey Allen James, good morning to you. Latrice Jones, good morning. Sardinia, good morning. Robert Holman, Lewis Pryor III. Adrian, good morning to you. Marion Jackson, good morning. Alex Williams, good morning. Can you tell me if your daughter Courtney did receive the email? So far, it hasn't bounced back, but hopefully we got it this time. Kim Edmondson, good morning. Lori Williams Wallace, good morning. I'm thinking, did I miss anybody? Stephanie Burbridge Hall, good morning. Let's talk about senior housing. Girl, that's coming too. Believe me, it's coming. It's coming. If you want to come on and talk about it with me, we can do that. Donita Hill Booker, good morning to you. Mike Nicholson, good morning. Tracy Burrs, good morning. Shirley Nicholson, good morning. So good morning to all of you. Sorry I did that in reverse, but I had to get that off of me this morning. All right, with that, let's bring in Kenny with Game Over so we can talk about this Heat and who's the other team? I'm being funny. The Denver Nuggets. So,
right.
So let's hear this report. We got to hear about this, so take it away.
All right. News and Motion family, good morning. How y'all doing today? Hey, it looks like the Miami Heat want to make this thing a series. They tied the series at one game apiece with a 111-108 victory over the Denver Nuggets. Yes, the Heat found a way to win after being down by as many as 15 points to the Nuggets, who were 11-0 in the playoffs, leading by double digits going into the fourth quarter. Well, Duncan Robinson had something to say about that. He came off the bench, scored 10 points, and all in the fourth quarter, and he lit the fuse that in the Heat comeback. The Heat were led in scoring by Gabe Vincent, 23 points, and Jimmy Butler and had 21 points and 9 rebounds, and Bam Adebayo chipped in 21 points and 9 rebounds. They needed every last bit of that scoring that they got yesterday because Joker, Nikolai Jokic, that man is no joke. He dropped 41 points yesterday and had 11 rebounds. His sidekick, Jamal Murray, dropped 18 points and had 11 assists, but it wasn't enough to stop the Heat, to put the Heat's fire out. Denver's coach, Michael Malone, said after the Nuggets game 1 win, he was concerned about Denver's effort. Well, He reiterated it last night because he was heated last night in his news conference. And he said, let's talk about the effort. And he repeated it a couple of times, kind of put me in the mind of Allen Iverson when he was talking about practice. Well, that's how he sounded last night when he was talking about Denver's effort. It looks like we're going to see Miami do their thing. Let's go Heat. I picked them in 6. I want to see what's going to happen. So let's go Heat. I want Jimmy Butler to get a ring. The series will continue on Wednesday night at 8:30 on ABC. Hey, do y'all remember my feel good story Saturday about Liam Hendricks? Yeah, Liam Hendricks, stage 4 non-Hodgkin lymphoma cancer survivor. Well, he was back on the mound again last night, and he got his first win. It was on National Cancer Day. Got the victory over the Detroit Tigers 6-2 as the White Sox swept the series 3-0. I'm pulling for Liam Hendricks this season. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan, but I want to see Liam do his thing this year. He's a cancer survivor. So, hey, I'm going with him. I want to see him do his thing, and I'm going to keep track with him the rest of the season. So, hey, that's sports. We're going to get back to Gail. That's it for me. Game over. Let's get back to Gail for some more news.
Hey, quick question. You have Mike Nicholson saying, what about the coach not calling a timeout?
He was crazy. He should have called a timeout. He seen the daggone it. You got to put the fire out. But the Heat was on fire yesterday. They were on fire.
And then Pastor Alex Williams said, hey, Kenny, what do you think about Shannon leaving undisputed?
I'm loving it. He should have been gone. But I knew that was over with when Skip Bayless has a way of trying to sun people, and he tried to sun him twice. Well, he disrespected him the first time with the Tom Brady thing and talking about he was jealous. He wasn't jealous. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Famer. Brady ain't in the Hall of Fame yet. How you going to say he's jealous? And then he tried to sun him. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. The disrespect happened. I knew it was over the end. He was just trying to figure out when he was leaving.
Well,
let's
thanks
go,
for
Shannon.
answering all of that.
Yeah, let's go, Shannon.
All right. Well, we will see you on Thursday right here on News and Motions, and again on Saturday at 6:30 as well. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kenny. Kim Edmondson saying, thank you, Gail, for donating to my American Cancer Society fundraiser. I want all of you to find Kim Edmondson on Facebook and make sure you join the fundraiser. Even if it says she met her goal, I want you to let's take her over that goal. So check that out. It can be whatever amount, y'all. Facebook may give you a suggested amount, but you can say $1, $2, $3, whatever. Let's help that out. And then I also saw one here, and I can't find it now. Shirley Nicholson was asking for prayer. So let's make sure we lift her up this morning as well. And I see you, Judy Neal. Good morning to you as well. Oh, there it is. Good morning, News and Motion family. Soliciting prayer for myself this morning. We will definitely be praying for you. All right, y'all, back to the news. Republican Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill banning gender-affirming care for minors. I don't get this, y'all. I really don't get it. Making Texas the most populous state to have enacted the ban. This is coming out of Associated Press. At least 18 other states have taken similar steps. So we have that as steps. We have that as well. Ron DeSantis. Sometimes I don't have words for some of the news that I review, and this one is mind-boggling to me. His administration is letting hundreds of thousands of poor residents of Florida lose health coverage. Yeah, he's attacking what they call the woke mob on the 2024 campaign trail. His wife even had on a jacket that talked about the woke, that they need to go to die. It's just, I'm looking at those images. Y'all can go find the images out there. Just go find the image. I'm sitting here like, what is going on right now? But his policies in Florida are making it harder for low-income residents to stay insured. Over the past few weeks, this has just happened over, let's say, the middle of May, roughly 250,000 Florida residents have lost health insurance coverage through Medicaid, and he's saying more will come. And Huffington Post had a great report on that. Good morning to you, Dr. Antoinette. I'm sorry, Dr. Annette. Dr. Annette. And y'all heard the funeral for her husband who passed is this Thursday, so keep her lifted as well. And she says this morning, this is so sad, he needs to be stopped or it will get worse. You're absolutely correct. So yeah, we have Medicare, Florida residents, roughly 250,000 have lost their health insurance coverage. Yeah, we cannot sit back and stay quiet and say nothing. And we cannot wait for the general election. We have to act and attend these town hall meetings now. Also, State Farm, and I have been wanting to report this since last week, but news was so thick last week. I kept moving it, so I was able to put it in here today. State Farm halts new policies in California due to wildfires. So if you're moving to California, you building a house and you want insurance from State Farm, you're not getting it. State Farm Insurance said it will no longer offer new home insurance policies in California due to the rising wildfire risk and construction costs. Existing insurance policies won't be affected. CNN is reporting that State Farms has stopped selling these new home insurance policies because of the financial toll of paying out fire damage claims. They're citing the rising of construction costs and the rapidly worsening wildfire season. The damage rose to 246% between 2000 and 2010, according to the conversation. State Farm said it was a necessary decision to improve the company's financial strength. But, when they say like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, what's happening there? Existing customers won't lose their coverage, and personal auto insurance won't be affected either. So people are saying they're in the process of building a house, or they're looking at building a house, or the construction sites or whatever, and they're finding that people won't insure them. So what do they do with their homes? So much is going on, y'all. We have to pay attention. Y'all, I thought this was an interesting article. BBC is reporting that the Davis School District in Utah, y'all, they're not banning books by Black people, although there was some brown people, Black people who wrote this book as well. Y'all, they're removing the King James Bible from the elementary and middle schools after a parent complained it was too violent and vulgar to be read by children. So there's that. Now, it's not stopping there, because on this past Friday, another parent from the same school district issued a complaint about the Book of Mormon. Now, y'all, we're talking Utah. Okay, we're talking Utah. Um, which is the religious text of Utah's own Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Make that make sense. So last year, the state's GOP government passed a law that bans pornographic or indecent books in schools, and they're taking it to another level. Now, some of this, I believe, is becoming tit for tat, but I think people are just fed up everywhere, and they're saying, I'm not doing this. So if this parent's going to complain, then I'm going to complain. And y'all, I go back to something I shared last year. This is what we call, when we did the definition of setting a precedent, this is what's happening. So people are like, well, this is in the law book. So this person used this, so I'm going to use the exact same thing, and I'm going to issue a complaint. And then that goes, and they say, well, it mirrors what we how we agreed or disagreed the last time. So this is what's happening, y'all. People are doing that. Dr. Annette said, what? Yeah, you heard that right here. Now, y'all, yesterday, there's no survivors found in what they called a wayward plane that flew over DC, and it crashed into Virginia. It was an unresponsive business plane that flew over Washington on yesterday, which prompted the military to scramble their fighter jets. So F-16 was authorized to travel at supersonic speed, causing the sonic boom that was heard all across the Capitol. They said people were like ducking and everything. I can't imagine walking down the street and hear this, and this is happening. So no survivors were found. So AP and then the Washington Post is reporting that people around the nation's capital were shocked. This happened right about 3:10 p.m. yesterday. The fighter jet took off, and about 20 minutes after the sound was heard, as of last night, authorities said they did not know why the pilot was unresponsive or how many people were on board. And I've just finished watching Manifest, y'all. If y'all watch that series, and I was surprised, I didn't know they added more episodes to season 4. And I think what they did, because that was supposed to have been over on episode 10 of season 4, which was last year. But everyone was like, how do you end a show like this? This makes no sense. Well, I think they said, let's give the people what they want. So they added another 10 episodes to season 4. So season 4 ended up being 20 episodes. It was amazing. No spoiler alerts here, but Saturday night, I think I stayed up to almost 2 a.m. watching it. And then I finished the last 3 on yesterday. That's how you end a series. That was amazing. That was brilliant. But I was watching Manifest and reading this article, and I was like, this stuff, this. Mm-mm. So where did it go? Where did the plane go? Where did the people go? What's happening here? But y'all, yeah, that's happening. Y'all, AP is also reporting. This is a direct quote. Y'all, people are tired all over the world. I just want to say that people are tired. Y'all, there are gun-toting gangsters have been robbing, raping, and murdering the innocent across Haiti. Well, weak or corrupt police and officials have done little, if not anything at all. So people are taking their own action. There's a wave of what they're calling brutal vigilantes. Uh, uh, Justice is breaking across Haiti. Um, it's just they've gone, they're like, we're going to take over ourselves. So they have machetes. There's been now 164 people killed according to United Nations. They stone and often chop off limbs and suspected gangsters. They've beheaded them and set them afire while still alive. They're walking around the neighborhoods protecting their own, and all of a sudden these gangs are starting to disperse. It's amazing, not that that's the way to do it, but people are like, I'm tired and no one's helping us, so we're going to take matters into our own hand. So they're training up their own, and that's what they're doing. I just thought it was important to share that article. I said people are seriously tired right now. They're tired. Also, y'all, AP headline reads, this is their headline, and I just kept looking at this alert saying, what? Y'all, YouTube changes its policy to allow false claims about past US presidential elections. Yeah, they changed it. YouTube will stop removing content that falsely claims the 2020 election or other past US presidential elections were marred by widespread fraud, errors, or glitches that the platform announced on this past Friday. So, y'all couple that with AI and misinformation and disinformation. What? We will not know. You're going to need and trust somebody in the news media where they've done their due diligence and their research to bring to you news and information. I said, wow, our job is becoming more difficult, but I enjoy the challenge. So they're allowing all that information to come back. Deborah's saying, Lord, we need to pray for Haiti and other depressed countries. Latrice Jones says people are tired. Black communities should be tired of our children being murdered. When I read that, Latrice, that was my thoughts. Like, you know what? You're not going to help us. We're just going to help ourselves. We're just going to step up. This may not be the right way to do it, but no one else is helping us. No one else is helping us. Adrian said, what the what? Deborah says, say what? That's crazy. Listen, that's what's happening. Kim Edmondson says our upcoming election is in jeopardy. It is so in jeopardy. And that's why we're on this movement to make sure we are educating voters. In the document that I sent yesterday to those who requested it to become volunteers for voter registration, there's a piece on there for focus groups. And I know that's just a workbook and I need to give y'all the rest of it, but that's enough. It's self-explanatory to get you started. And again, I think I'm gonna do the Wednesday workshop on this. But it's like, it's not just getting them registered, it's also how do we get them to participate. So, whether it's a focus group or a phone call or text message or something saying, hey, check out this article, make sure you read this, this, and this. Here are a few links, whatever that is. And y'all, it may sound like a lot, but we're asking our volunteers to at least commit to 5 hours a month. That's not much. To really help make sure that we are expelling, like we're putting out there, okay, this is facts, this is disinformation, this is misinformation. Here's some articles that we've read and we've vetted. These are things we think that we should look at, and this is how we move forward. Deborah says, can we please start training up new young, fresh candidates for the years to come. I agree with that as well. Marion says, and that's why I appreciate News in Motion for giving us the news. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Believe it or not, Marion, some people are like, isn't your time up? Why don't you end? Okay, whatever. People will be people. Anyway, so the next thing on the news before I turn it over to Isaiah, who's going to bring us the inspirational message. Again, I'm using that phrase. They have secretly hired us. They have secretly hired us. CNBC and MASH.com reports that since 1985, Starbucks has allowed customers to order with their own personal reusable cups at the store counter. Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. I knew they would do it at like Christmas time if you bought the cup, whatever, or holiday season. Let me change that. They've even given you a 10-cent discount. Like that really makes a difference. Okay. But few people utilize that option since 1985. So they're saying that they've gone through an estimated 7 billion disposable cups every year. So they're going to use that platform of, clean energy and recycling and so forth. So after testing what they call a borrow a cup program last year, Starbucks is again reaching for a way to reduce what they call cup waste. So the company, it sounded so good until you dig into it. So the Starbucks company has committed to having all U.S. store locations allow customers to bring in their reusable cups for any order. Now, this can be counter or drive-through or mobile app. Well, here's my question. How long is this drive-through line going to back up? Because you got to wait till you get the cup to make their drink before they leave off if you're not going to use cups in the store. Okay? Help me understand that. If I do a mobile order, you have to wait for me to bring my cup for you to fulfill my order. So now we're taking this. So I don't think they worked this out. Now, the big shift for the company is that as this last quarter, they were saying that mobile ordering and drive-through and delivery made up 74% of the sales. So make this make sense. So you now want us to get out of our cars, to bring you the cup, to wait for you to do what you do, and then you're going to give me 10 cents off. That's not, no. If we're looking at our hourly rate, if we're looking at our hourly rate, that doesn't make sense. How are you going to deal with the traffic in your parking lots? How the drive-through lines are already crazy. People are already cussing you out because you're in the middle of the street trying to get into a Starbucks line or whatever. I don't think y'all thought this through. So another suggestion for those who are doing just regular coffee, they're encouraging you to come in with your cup, do the regular coffee, and then they'll give you a percentage off with that too. So now you're wanting me to not only bring my cup, so I'm washing my cup, I'm bringing my cup, I'm doing my own coffee pour, I'm leaving, getting back in my car and driving off. What did you do? So they're secretly hiring us. So I thought that was just really interesting. And I don't know if y'all noticed, their cup sizes have already decreased. Just thought I'd throw that in there as well. Latrice Jones says, this is why I quit using my reusable cup. The 10 cents off never made sense for me because I always use the mobile app. There's that. There's that. So y'all, that's the news for today. I hope y'all would join us again on tomorrow with News in Motion. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Isaiah. Please don't leave him. He has a great inspirational message that he wants to share with all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How
So
are
what
you?
you going to do about your Starbucks cup?
I don't drink Starbucks.
Y'all heard that here, right here on
I
News.
don't
Like,
drink
oh, that's not
Starbucks.
me.
I mostly drink water and Sprite.
Water and Sprite. He said that's his mama's bidding, Starbucks. Well, go ahead and give us the inspirational message. Thank you, Isaiah.
No problem. Good morning, News in Motion family. I hope we enjoyed today's episode of News in Motion. I was tasked with giving the inspirational message today, and today I want to talk about peace of mind, especially after this past month was Mental Health Awareness Month. I had this, I was contemplating this these last few days. So I want to go to Philippians 4, verse 7, and this is coming from the New Living Translation. It says, "Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus." So that resonated for me because these last few months have been difficult for not only me, but I'm pretty sure for everybody. Just adjusting to life. This not just last month, I had passed my final exam, but on that same day, I also had a death in the family. And that same week, I had another cousin who was getting ready to graduate high school. And then I had lost another friend who had recently passed. So these last few weeks, I was just wondering why's the timing of all this? Like, where's this? Is this a test to my faithfulness? But it's also a test to how you navigate through your battles mentally as well. God is with us. Wherever we go, whatever we do, He is always with us. And He's going to be our peace, our calm before the storm. He's going to be our peace of mind. And what He's able to do is beyond our wildest dreams and imaginations. I know for us, the saying is, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. That is true, but it's also due to the fact that how amazing and how faithful God is. He's able to see what we're going through, and He'll put, I don't want to say obstacles, but He'll put people that will teach you lessons on how to navigate what you're going through. He's also going to, it's not always going to be easy, but it's worth it in the end. I also wanted to say that those nights where you aren't able to sleep, where it feels like your mind is racing, just call on God. Just let God know that you're in a rough place, and He will give you peace. It may not be what you're looking for. It may not be the answer that you're looking for right then and there, but the peace is coming. And I just wanted to share that. Again, that was from Philippians 4, verse 7. And He will give you peace. If you need peace, whatever you're going through right now, whether you're stressing about your work, if you have recently lost a loved one and you don't know how to feel, that's perfectly fine. It's all about having your peace. God is our peace. So that was just my inspirational message for today. Thank you again to Miss Gail for all that she does here on News in Motion. Thank you all for tuning in. You know what we do here. Be well, make some bold moves, and I also want to add to this. Remember to have your peace. Remember to have your peace of mind. With that, we will see you tomorrow, and we are out of here.